Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Katelyn, and today we are continuing the 100 Dragon Challenge. So we are finally kicking off the final dragon in the Four Horsemen series, which is the War Dragon. So I honestly did try to save this one for last, because I foresaw myself putting a lot of detail in this one. I mean, I feel like a lot of my dragons overall have slowly become more detailed, but I just had a feeling the War Dragon was just going to be very detailed amongst the Four Horsemen. Either way, like, I really enjoyed this mini-series in a series, and it was really cool seeing how you guys interpreted the different horseman dragon things, and it was just super cool, and it was a really fun prompt to try out and create. So I knew for the War Dragon, I wanted it to be kind of like an armored dragon, and a lot of times war is depicted with like flames and like really cool like fire effects, whether that's a fire mane or like fire hooves. Lots of fire and metal and armor, and I loved that idea, so for sure I just wanted to run with it. And I also really like chains. I think it's one of those things that I just get lost in doing, just drawing chains over and over and over again. It's again one of those things that I get very therapeutic and stuck into, but this one, oh my god, I'm gonna add so many chains to it. I was just ready to go like ham on these chains and put it all over this creature. I was very excited to do that. And then I was also excited to do armor. I know it's like, I don't know, like, I know there's like dragon riders and such, and they usually put armor on their dragons with that, but a lot of the dragons in this series, I haven't really drawn like armored. We had I think it was the King and Queen dragon. Shout out to, what was that, in the 30s, 20s? I don't remember when I did that one. But they were armored and had different adornments and things, and some of it was kind of part of their body, but then they also had some really sick armor. And yeah, so this was another one that I could do some really cool armor texturing on and just go nuts with like plating and like cool extra add-ons and like protection, because it's a war like steed. If you look at any type of like war horse, they usually had some type of armor or padding or something to help the horse stay alive longer. And man, some of the medieval armor for horses is pretty dope. Like, go back and look and like do a Google search and you'll find some really cool armor inspiration, especially for this one. So if you guys are gonna draw the War Dragon, look up some cool horse armor. You'll get super inspired, because there is a lot of different cool armors from so many different cultures. So with my initial sketching and brainstorming out of the way, it was time to jump in and do my final design sketch. So I really wanted this guy to look kind of bulky and intimidating, and I kind of based his body positioning kind of on a bulldog / Gila monster. I was thinking he'd be much more stocky. You know, a lot of the times that I've seen like war horses in movies specifically, they usually seem to be more of the fast running type of horses, like slim, lean, quick moving. But I love the idea of like a Clydesdale coming in and just wrecking, because like, think about a giant heavy horse just like running across the battlefield at you. Like, either way, horses are heavy. Like, if you get trampled by one or kicked by one, it's gonna hurt or potentially kill you a lot. So just imagining a much bigger, stockier, buffer horse is kind of what I was thinking when it started with like the idea of this dragon as well. So I wanted to make sure this was a stocky, powerful creature, and I wanted to show off some of those wings, like get them across the page, because I wanted to also show off the underlying body, because, you know, sometimes when you fold the wings, you lose like the stomach and the sides, and sometimes the side of the legs. You're gonna lose some detailing, and I was planning on putting a bunch of chains all over this thing, so I didn't want to lose all of that detailing behind a folded wing. Plus, it would be pretty intimidating to just have this thing with giant wings, like staring you down from across the battlefield, ready to charge. And it was fun to design this rider. I decided to do an axe-wielding, knight-like character with a very darkened face. Thought that would look really sick, and it really started to pay off, especially during the line art. So I did kind of an interesting, like, Tuskish style teeth design, jaw design, one of those words. And with the fire, I really wanted fire like billowing out of its mouth, having some smoke rise from the sides of its mouth as well. I had mixed feelings later on. I'll just tell you about them now. When I get to the color, I made the grave error of making the smoke too similar of a gray to the armor, because it's literally basically the same gray. Because I wanted it to be this really dark, like wood burning dark smoke. I don't know if wood burning makes dark smoke, but you know what I mean. Just a really dark, intimidating smoke. But then the armor was dark, and I made the horns dark, and I'm like, I feel like it gets kind of lost. So I ended up adding some white gel pen to that, which helped, but I kind of wish I made some parts of it lighter. But I'm getting ahead of myself because that's way off in coloring. So here's the part where the chains started to get pretty repetitive and hectic. I know I said like they're very therapeutic for me, but I also just really wanted this dragon to be done. I actually had to speed up these clips a lot more to make this a digestible episode, because at the speed that I usually speed up my clips, this episode hit more of a 25 to 30 minute mark, just because the line art took so long and the coloring took so long. And that's after I clipped out any like, bare areas or like maybe a couple seconds where I don't draw. It was nuts. There was a lot of detail that went into this one, and I cannot tell you how many total hours, but I remember my eyeballs hurt pretty bad after staring at those details. I had to actually step away, I think, after the line art to give my eyes a break, because I was like, oh my god, my eyeballs are gonna fall out because there was so many little details. And I'm the type that when I am drawing and not filming, if there's little details, I lean in and get as close as I can to the paper. I know that's usually not good for your shoulders and back, so I've been trying not to do that, but I tend to do it anyway. So when I'm recording, I can't do that, so then my eyes are just like trying to do eagle eyes and just zoom in and like enhance and trying to see what I'm looking at, but my eyes can only do so much, so they were very tired after all the chains and all the detailing on this dragon. But it for sure paid off. I really love the line art of this one. Like, I kind of wish I scanned it beforehand, because I really just like the black line art version. I do really like the color, but I wish I kind of had both. And I wanted to ask you guys, I know around the States, the quarantine is kind of being lifted slowly, but some people are still stuck at home. I was thinking about releasing a digital coloring book, as well as I'm going to go ahead and lower the price on my physical coloring book and then upload a digital version of the one I already have. But I'd like to know if you guys would be interested in like a digital coloring book of some more like of my current art, since my other coloring book is probably about 2 years old. Some of the stuff it will be a little bit harder, like my digital art, I can just turn the colors off. These dragons, I can maybe start scanning them once the line art is done. Maybe that could start being a part of it, but I want to know if you guys are interested and see if I could offer it on the shop for like $5, something fun for you guys to do while hanging out in quarantine and staying artsy and everything. So let me know. I'll put a poll. They're probably already popped up by now, but I'll put a poll and see what you guys think about coloring pages or a coloring book of some sort. So now finally the line art is done. It's time to clean up all of my pencil lines and get into the color. So for the color, I had a couple things in mind as I was prepping and erasing all this out for where I wanted to go with this. So I already knew I wanted fire. So we were gonna have red, yellow, and orange for sure. And then I wanted the overall dragon to be in the red tones, but I didn't want it to be a bright red, because I really wanted to save that red for the fire. So I wanted a more, I guess, muted, not like pastel-y, but I just wanted a different red. Like, it was like a pinkish red almost. So I did a couple of different swatches of a few of my reds, slowly built up and found the ones I wanted, especially for like, okay, this one could be the normal skin color, this one can be the dark, and this is the darkest dark, And I slowly found all of my colors. And then this is the part that also took a long time. I'd have to say the line art took the longest, but I put a lot of little coloring details in this. Obviously for the fire, I went through and added the yellow, then the orange, then the red to give it a little bit of a pop. And then the smoke, I also went through and added a few different layers to that and the white gel pen later on. And yeah, I just went crazy with this. I had so much fun coloring it. It was super cool, and like, I just really love the fire effect and just how intense this dragon looks. Like, it honestly looks like it could be on the cover of like a metal soundtrack, you know, like a CD cover or just the cover on iTunes, the album cover, whatever you want to call it. I just love it. I think it looks so metal. And if anyone has a metal band and they want to commission me to make a cover of your CD, no joke, I would totally be down. And speaking of commissions, I am currently open for commissions here in May. I right now at this moment only have one, so there's a lot of available slots. So if you guys are interested, you can either email me at my email that I have on my About page here on YouTube, or shoot me a message on Instagram or Twitter. Like, it really helps support this channel and helps support me, like, continue doing my art. And I really love drawing your guys' stuff. Like, it's honestly super fun to work with you guys, like, to bring your character designs to life. Or if you have a monster that you love and you've drawn, like, I love rendering it out for you guys. So really let me know if you guys are interested in commissions. Shoot me a message, shoot me an email, because there's for sure a lot of slots available for May. And then one more thing to plug, I also released the first episode of my Dungeons & Dragons podcast. I posted it on the community tab, and I'll also post a link down in the description for this video. The first episode is out, and then the second episode is going to be dropping tomorrow. So if you guys are interested, I'd really appreciate it. It's kind of a comedy, fantasy, fun podcast, so I think you guys would have a blast with it. You don't really need to know a lot about D&D. It's very story-based. There is, like, the technicalities of D&D, like, I want to make an insight check, what do I roll? But it's also very story-based, and I think it's a lot of fun, and I hope you guys enjoy it, so check it out in the link below. But anyway, as you can see, yep, I am slowly making some major progress on this guy. There is a lot left to do, a lot of coloring and, like, adornments with the armor and the chains, some shading to do, but it turned out really cool, and I had so much fun drawing this really epic metal as crap monster. Alright, so we are finally getting close to wrapping up this dragon. Like I said, this was a blast. I had a lot of fun, and this guy was really, really detailed. I'm gonna go ahead and drop the Four Horsemen on my website for print pre-orders. So if you guys are interested, go check out my site. I'm going to be getting a bunch of dragons here printed for my website in the next couple of weeks. So keep an eye on the store, and I'll let you guys know when I drop some new products. But for now, let's go ahead and check out your guys' Alabrije dragons from last week. All right, so first up, Mighty Camurai. I really love how your dragon just glows against that dark background. It's super moody, and I just love the patterning and the color that you chose for this one. Drawn Neoisi. I'm sorry if I butchered your username. I am terrible at them. I really love your fusion design for this one. Like I said in the last episode, Alabrijes are kind of a combination of different animals, and I love how yours is like a really cool humanoid reptile combo. Really awesome. And then Abby Roses, I really think your design is very cute. I love all the different animals that went into making this dragon, and it's just adorable. And all of you guys did amazing. Like, these three were really hard to pick. Like, there were so many good ones. Like, it's crazy. And I know I say that every time, and I know I say it every time, but legitimately, wow, there were so many bright and colorful patterns and different colors, and you guys had them walking over the bridge and so many cool things. Really, really loved it. Great work, guys. So if you guys would like to participate in this week's dragon, make sure to post your war dragon on either Instagram or Twitter with the hashtag KM100dragons. And I would really appreciate it if you guys aren't already, if you could hit that subscribe button. I make new videos every week, and I would love for you to join our little arty community. Anyway, thank you guys so much, and I will see you guys next time for another video. Bye, everybody.